All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS in whom the truth resides. Peace and blessings be multiplied unto the Akim. This preaching is truth from the four corners of the earth. Also to your Akwath, that may be laboring in silence or whatever the Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai may bless your hands to do for the elect. All right, this is Hashem Yahshala. With a short sit down. This is just a story that ran across my news feed. First of all, I want to start off with today is actually May Day. For you Akim, but may have not known that May Day is a mixture of it's a heathenistic holiday, but I was going to do a video on this day in history because May Day has a significance with America, Marxism. Back when I was in college, went to we had there was a field trip to Washington. I really wasn't partakers of it. I did it just because I wanted to get out of I wanted to go on a field trip. It was sponsored by the college, so I went. And what we did is we went. It was a march on Washington. And they named it May Day, and it was founded through Marxism. Karl Marx, you brothers may heard of him. He's the father of communists. He wrote a manifesto called Communist Manifesto. I'm gonna share a short. I'm gonna play a short clip from a news. My girl, I forgot her name. I got dibs on her fine ass. She's an Edomite, but I believe she's. I don't believe she's Edomite, but she appears to be. She's confusing the faces. But anyway, this happened in Paris. This came across my news feed. This is a violent riot that broke out in today from a peaceful protest, which is no peace in America, man. Let me play this real quick. Okay. All right. Now I want to go into the origin of May Day. Okay. We got a few. I googled it. It's May festivals on this day too. Okay, May Day, Wikipedia. Jump into the origin and celebrations. Italy it is called Celebrate Mangato or Cantan Magio, a seasonal festival held to celebrate the arrival of spring. The event takes its name from the period in which it takes place. That is the beginning of May from the Latin calendar Maya. Okay, so it's got its origins. I got another one. It says it goes back to a pagan holiday. Okay. Okay. Here's another one. It says historians believe the first maypole dance originated as part of the fertility ritual, where the pole symbolizes male fertility. So it goes back to ceramicists. All right, and and the phallus, man. Okay, and the penis. Okay, male fertility and baskets and wealth are symbolizing female fertility. The maypole never really took root in America, where May Day celebrations were discouraged by the Puritans. Okay, so it really didn't take root here, but it has its origins in a lot of uh, Greek, Greek worship. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Okay, yeah, here's what they this is International Workers' Day. Okay, Wikipedia. Okay, the South Africa Workers' Day has been celebrated as a national public holiday on May 1st each year since 1994. It has its origins within the historical struggle of workers and their. I ain't gonna read it, go into it, but like I said, it goes back to called Marxism. All right. Also, the May Day is a code for being in trouble. The army actually used it. Okay. Okay. I have to. Okay. Okay. They're trying to synonymously add it to May Day and Labor Day. Okay. Uh, okay. Here we go. Learn about the history and origin of May Day, a secular celebration with its roots from a Druid Druid of the British Isles. May 1st was the second most important holiday of the year. Okay, and see, as you can see, it got different symbols. Okay, this International Workers' Day, Youth Day, Human Rights Day, Good Friday. Okay, these just different ones. Okay, and the scripture says what, man? I hate and despise your feast days, man. Okay, which that means any day, man. Is this hell? It's not in the scriptures, man. We don't supposed to be celebrating it. Okay, and okay, let me get the video that I had. Oh wow. Okay, cause Marxism was he was a so-called philosopher, and he indoctrinated communism. But this video was significant because it shows where America can't stand anymore. This guy who his name is Richard Wolff. He teaches. He's a professor, and he teaches a class on. He teaches social communism. It's like it. Okay, which America really isn't. It's a capitalist society. America is a mixture of everything. It's a capitalist society, but uh, it believes in communism too, also, because you have signs and symbols all around, man. The communism is the star of Che Rivera from Cuba. He was a revolutionary, and he was capitalist. Cuba was known as a capitalist country. Russia, China, okay. China's flag, China's star is capitalist, okay. Uh, that's simultaneous with the star of a Macy's. Macy's store uses that same star. You got a gas station, Texaco uses that star. Okay, so it's just really just to show, man, America's all fucked up. It's all mixed up. But I just want to show a little bit of this clip, man, because he showed this guy teaches on how the capitalist society, how Marxism taught that. Like I said, I'm not for Marxism. It's just that his way of teaching capitalism, he taught communism. He taught communism that capitalism, we supposed to buck up against it, because capitalism, it can't stand. It's always the construct of it is made to blow up. It's made to end. and I attributed that because he goes into a reference to slavery. Okay, let me play it because this is about how much I want to play it, and then I'm gonna commentate on it. Always trying to begin to comics. Let me start it from the beginning so you can know who Karl Marx is. Abby Martin, that's her name.
In a country that declared the end to socialism, a major poll released in January of 2016 revealed something unexpected. 43% of people under 30 in the U.S. view socialism favorably, compared to only 32% who view capitalism favorably. This shows that despite a concerted effort to smother the ideas of a man who died 133 years ago this March, the analysis put forward by Karl Marx remains extremely relevant today.
He has a strong resemblance to Albert Pike, man. So but all of them is devils, man. He was a so-called German, so he was a Edomite. But like I said, it just goes to show you, thus says the scriptures, man. Satan's kingdom is divided, man. Okay, capitalism actually has a lot of decent points, a lot of good points. Like I said, but the most strongest system is going to ever rise, man, is Israel. Okay, hold on.
Marx is considered the most influential philosopher to ever live. With his co-thinker Friedrich Engels, they developed a way of understanding the world that has not only greatly contributed to the understanding of philosophy and economics, but also history, anthropology, political science, biology, and many other fields. As a young man in the mid-19th century, Marx embedded himself in the workers' movements in his home country of Germany, then in France, from where he was exiled to London for his political activity. In addition to dedicating...
He was exiled from a lot of countries, which shows that he was an Edomite, man. It goes back to the scriptures, man. He was a vagabond, man. He was expelled out of, it said France, Europe, it was two other countries, I forget, and he ended up going back to London.
Himself to the scientific study of capitalism and social change, Marx was also an organizer and convened the very first international organization of socialists with the goal of overthrowing capitalism, known as the Communist League, whose slogan was "Working men of all countries unite." His work Capital is regarded as the premier dissection of the economic system we live under. His discovery of dialectical materialism redefined the world of philosophy, and his rallying call, the Communist Manifesto, is considered the most influential political document in the world. As the U.S. empire thrashes to survive the current global capitalist crisis, and with rejection of capitalism clearly growing among young people, I wanted to find out what it was about Marx's work that has had such a profound impact from peasants in Asia to miners in Africa to workers in the U.S. alike. So I talked to someone who's been teaching students and the public about Marxism for years, Dr. Richard Wolff, Professor of Economics Emeritus at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. You're a Marxist economist. Let's start from the basics. What is Marxism, and what does it mean to have a Marxist lens with which to view the world?
I think the best way to understand it is that the difference between Marxism and other things is that it wants to go to the root. It is radical in that sense. It wants to see these problems, homelessness, inequality, an economy that bounces around, having a recession or a depression every 3 to 7 years, a society that concentrates political power in a tiny number. These recurring problems of capitalism, Marxism says, are built into the system. And if you want to solve them, you can't do that within the framework of the system. You have to face the fact that the system itself is the problem, which is why Marxists tend to be people who abide by the idea we can and we should do better than capitalism. We should reorganize society because that will be a better way to deal with all those problems than dealing with them individually as if you could solve homelessness or...
And that's exactly how America's construct works, man. You know, they have people to vote, and they have these different societies, and you vote on different issues and shit, but you never come up with a solution. Okay, it always keep its conflict ongoing. Okay, that's what's wrong with a capitalist society. He's going to get into the market industry of how businesses work and shit. But like I said, this is just a short informational video of of um, capitalism and just how America is how wicked ass America works.
Solve inequality by a quick fix, by a marginal adjustment. No, the problems are systemic. So you have to understand how capitalism as a system works in order to begin to work your way to a solution.
Could you give a brief explanation of dialectical materialism?
Marx was a philosopher, so being a rigorous and systematic thinker, he didn't want to jump into economics, which is what he focused on, without grounding it in philosophy. So he begins as a student of Hegel, the great philosopher. When he begins his academic life, Marx began as a professor. He taught philosophy. His doctoral dissertation was on ancient Greek philosophy. He wasn't an economist when he began. He ended up thinking he had to study economics because of how philosophy got him there. And to be quick in a way of an answer to your question, he comes out of a school of thought that believed that ideas were...
Hey, he was a so-called Jew. He was in Germany, but his parents were both so-called Jewish gutter rats.
The supreme achievement of human beings. Ideas are what you get from the most refined reflection that the human brain can do. If you're religiously oriented, ideas are what you get from God, from the spiritual realm. And so the world is really shaped by something prior to the world. So the notion is, sometimes called idealism, that the real world is the product of ideas. And if you want to really understand the real world, go to the ideas that make it what it is. Religiously, in the beginning, there was nothing. Then there was first God, which is a non-material idea, and that creates the world. Remember, in Genesis, 7 days, God, a spirituality, creates the materiality of the world. Marx rejected that. For him, the material is just as important as the ideal. If you want to see where the material comes from, it's shaped by ideas. But, and here comes his radicalism, it runs the other way too. The ideas don't come from nowhere. They come out of the real world. The ideas we have as people have to do with the real material problems we have as human beings and how we solve them. Where do we get our food? Where do we get our shelter? How do we get protection as little children from the elements, from our parents? All of these real material matters of life and survival are shaping our ideas every bit as much as our ideas shape the reality. Dialectical materialism is the name for a point of view that says if you want to understand the world, you need to look at how ideas shape the material, but the other way too, and the two have interact. That's the way to see the world. And for that reason, when it came to explaining the problems of capitalism, he never could and never did suggest it's all because of the ideas of people about capitalism. It's the real way human beings make their...
In a nutshell, he believed in the Big Bang Theory. Basically, he's just trying to clean it up a little bit, but he believed in that the non the non God philosophy.
Food, solve their clothing problems, their relationship, shape their ideas as much, and he was going to analyze capitalism through that lens of the interaction of ideas and concrete material reality back and forth.
Marxists take a particular view of history called historical materialism. How is the current area of capitalism fit into the long history? I think you've mentioned this before, just how this is just the latest chapter in a long history of economic development.
The basic idea is that every economic system has in it conflicting forces. The language in Marxism is internal contradictions. The system has in it problems it is constantly struggling with because they're built into the system. And for long periods of time, it finds solutions. But in the end, historical materialism says the internal contradictions become unmanageable, and then there's a kind of explosion. The system.
Right, that's America. Okay, that's what happens with capitalism. He's going to get a little bit more into it on how businesses, how America has, because it's built on greed. Okay, and Esau is that's one of his attributes.
Dies and a new one is born. So we have.
Right. Okay. So one idea one society rises up, like I said, and it dies from its own out of its own for on its own teachings are caught up, and you can't come up with no more solutions. So America can't keep going on. All right, and it's out, and it's to its end now, and it's about to die, and a new nation is about to come up. Okay, so this devil wasn't too far fetched, man. He kind of basically was basically quoting the scriptures, man. Okay, so he's a devil, like I said, but like I said, the scripture says thou art wise and Daniel because he searched out things, man. All right, we could keep going just a little bit more. It's probably about another 5 minutes.
Slavery, for example, in various parts of the world, it was born, it evolved, it had its contradictions. For example, the contradiction that the only way a slave system can continue is if you replace the slaves that reach old age and die, and that's become a big problem for many slave societies. So eventually...
And that's the scriptures, bro, because what? Esau's going to go into slavery for 1,000 years, and what? Well, he's going to be extinct. Okay, he's going to die off because we're not going to need slaves anymore. Okay, so communism actually is basically is going to be I don't want to say no because our kingdom is totally it's going to be righteous. You know, everything is going to flow because our land is going to yield. Everything's going to be righteous, man. But communism wasn't like a bad idea. Okay, it rejected capitalism because capitalism says what, man? Make the rich richer and keep the poor poor. It held back, you know. So let me play this about 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna end it.
The slavery couldn't solve its problems and it died, replaced by feudalism in Europe, which went through the parallel process and then it blew up. It couldn't solve its problems. So historical materialism begins to look at capitalism through the same lens. What are the internal contradictions? How do they bedevil the system? What solutions for a while have they found? But when and where might we get to a level of internal contradiction that makes the system tremble, makes it vulnerable? And at that point, if revolutionaries can see and understand what's going on, they can intervene to move to the next system to get beyond this.
Right, Con, because that's where we at now. Because that's why I just showed that riot in Paris. Okay, because you have revolutions, uprisings right now in America. Okay, because this system is about to die. Okay, so hey, Marxism actually, Karl Marx actually hit it on point. You know, his manifesto is said that like I said, capitalism is gonna reach to a point when it dies. Okay, just like the scripture says, man.
Just like rebels overthrew slavery, rebels overthrew feudalism, the expectation of Marx was that capitalism would generate the contradictions, then the tensions, then the failed solutions that would then bring into being the rebels with the ideas of criticism, Marx himself being one of those, who would eventually move to the next system. To illustrate
okay. All right, brothers. That's all, man. I didn't want to get too far into it, but like I said, man, you brothers copy this page down. You know, get a link to this page, man. You can watch it to its entirety. It was actually pretty. It was pretty informative. Like I said, man. You know, we at GMS, man. We study everything, man. So, all right, this just a little quick excerpt. I'm gonna first give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles GMS who rule well. Peace and blessings be multiplied to the elect first, and Joachim out here, man, that's doing this work, man, and sincerity and this truth, man. Also to your Aquath. All right, till next time, brother. Shalom.